Welcome back, Brawl Nation. I'm Rotag, joined by Willy. We are ready for Brawl number 6, Season 1. We have had 5 Brawls already, 3 more to go, Willy. It is getting near the end of the season. Last chance for these competitors to make a run at the Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. How are you today?
I'm doing well, homie. Just got done last night having a slow cooked pork roast with some garden veggies, garden herbs, a little hint of whiskey, give it smokiness. It was really tasty. But you know what else is tasty? Breaking down brackets and talking about what we got coming up.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's what we're here to do, is to break down the new competitors that will be here. For those that are new here, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button here. We appreciate that. Go ahead and leave us a like and a comment down below if you would like as well. You can hit us up on Twitter at Rotag and Willy, all one word. Hashtag Brawl if you want to see a certain competitor or there's a certain maybe region that you would like us to go to. You can always do that. We love to have Brawl Nation be an active support in this. It's not just Rotag, it's not just Willy, it's you guys as well. You guys are what make this such an enjoyable thing for us to be a part of. On that note, Willy, should we break down the bracket?
Let's get down to it.
All right. We are going to Camp Crystal Lake for the first region. Willy, break down the different matchups and then we'll talk about it.
All right. Camp Crystal Lake. We got our number 1 seed in that region, Wolverine, going up against former 1996 GOP presidential candidate Bob Dole. 8-9 game in that matchup is King Tut of ancient Egypt going up against Fred McGriff in his prime. The 4-13 matchup is Sasquatch, the legendary and mythical creature of the Pacific Northwest, going up against everybody's least favorite person in the Chicago Cubs organization, Steve Bartman. 5-12 matchup, Two-Face going up against Frank from Always Sunny. 3-14, we have Link from the Zelda series going up against hated dictator Saddam Hussein, the 14 seed. The 6-11 matchup is George of the Jungle going up against the king of the cutoff himself, Bill Belichick, Patriots head coach. 7-10 matchup, we have Peter Pan going up against Sam Adams, not the beer maker. We're talking about the Patriot and the revolutionary of the back in the revolutionary days, taking it back to 1775 there. And the 2-15 matchup, we have Dumbledore of Harry Potter world going up against the Seven Dwarves.
Excellent, Willy. When I look at these matchups here and I'm looking at the biggest upset, which one has a chance for the biggest upset? And we've seen those. We've seen 16 seeds win. We've seen 15s and 14s win. If I'm looking at this and I go, what is the biggest upset that could occur here? I've got to go, man. It's a pretty stacked region there with some of the top heavy ones. But you know what? I mean, I don't know how much of an upset, but Bill Belichick could have a game plan for George of the Jungle and be able to stop his offense here because Belichick is known for his defense. That's the biggest upset I see as an 11 seed here going over. What about you?
I'm actually going to pick. I'm looking hard at my boy Steve Bartman there. I didn't pick it, but I have like this feeling that it could happen because Sasquatch is shy. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want to brawl at all. He wants to run into the woods. Camp Crystal Lake. He's near the woods. Bartman's not afraid to just stick out his hand and hit something that he shouldn't. So that we could have a situation where Sasquatch starts dropping 2s and 3s, and Bartman starts throwing jokers.
Bartman's going to get his hands on Sasquatch's balls.
Maybe.
That would not be good for
certainly
anybody.
Be a joker.
That'd be good for anybody there, sure. Yeah. What about this is not necessarily our picks, but what matchup are you looking most forward to? And that's the thing is we'll break down our brackets at the end of this, but we're just trying to pick in the biggest upset, and then which matchup are we most looking forward to seeing?
I kind of want to see Link just mess up Saddam Hussein. I mean, we've seen some villains win in previous brawls, and 14 seed Saddam. I mean, he shouldn't. I'm probably cursing poor Link now, but I want to see Link just mess up Saddam and make him want to crawl back into a hole again.
Not to have to agree with you, but I'm right there on board with you. I think that's the matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing is Link, pretty powerful in those games, and seeing him, take it to Saddam Hussein, not too bad, a little bit of continued being a dead horse, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and take this to region number 2. We are moving to Stonehenge, and we have another 16 competitors here for Willy to break down for us.
All right, number 1 seed in the Stonehenge region is Optimus Prime. He'll be going against 16 seed Cat Dog. The 8-9 matchup, we have the Mario brothers, Mario and Luigi, going up against the mustache himself, Tom Selleck. 4-13, we have another, we seem to have these creatures, at least one creature per brawl. We got an alligator, an actual gator, going up against old man Bernie Sanders. 5-12 matchup in that region is Yao Ming going up against Chester Cheetah. The 3-14, and I believe an underseeded Count Dracula going up against 14 seed and famous musician Yo-Yo Ma. 6-11, we have Colonel Benjamin Martin from the Patriot with a tomahawk going up against 11 seed, his commander-in-chief, George Washington. Very intriguing matchup there. 7-10 matchup, we have Captain Hook going up against Steve Stifler from American Pie. And finally, the 2-15 matchup, we have Venom going up against Cher.
Wow, that is another strong region here with some strong, heavy competitors at the top and down to some weaker competitors again at the, lower seeds here. Biggest upset for me here, looking at them. Gosh, this is a tough one because a lot of the lower seeds I don't like very much. I'm going to go with, again, a 12 seed this time and Chester Cheetah because maybe he's got that cheetah speed there that he can run around Yao Ming. Yao Ming, not necessarily the fleetest of foot, big guy. But maybe that cheetah just runs circles around him and, get that Cheeto dust going on there, get on your hands, It's just a pain in the butt to get off. And so maybe Yao Ming will be a little surprised by that stuff.
I actually have another 13th seed in Bernie Sanders taking on that gator. I mean, he survived a heart attack. He's a hardy man from Vermont. There, I think he could surprise some folks there. A gator may or may not want to fight. That gator may be looking for some water to run to. Might be out of his element in Stonehenge and sort of just like shrivel up because it might be cold. So I got Bernie Sanders in that matchup.
So that's your big upset. There you go. The matchup that I'm most looking forward is the battle of the mustaches there with Mario and Luigi going up against Tom Selleck. Now, I mean, Mario has a mustache. Does Luigi have a mustache too?
Pretty sure he does. He's just a little taller.
I was going to say, I don't know. It's been a while since I've gotten onto the Nintendo and played some Mario Brothers there. But, enjoyed it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that mustache, brawl. Who's going to be coming out on top there at Stonehenge in that matchup. What about you, Willy?
I just dropped my cards here. I'm looking forward to seeing the Colonel Benjamin Martin with his tomahawk looking across the battle lines and seeing his commander-in-chief, George Washington. That he could have some reservations about making that fight, and I actually got George in that one.
Gotcha. Quick question. When you dropped the cards, was one of them a deuce?
No.
Oh, because I know how much you enjoy when the competitors drop a deuce in the matchups. All right.
That is one of my catchphrases.
Let's move on to Red Square, region number 3, headlined by Dark Phoenix. Run us through the list of competitors in this region, Willy.
Heading to Moscow, Russia, Red Square, one of the most famous locations in world politics. We got Dark Phoenix, the 1 seed in this region, going up against Pinky and the Brain. 8-9 matchup, we have the original Lynyrd Skynyrd band going up against Cindy Bristow. 4-13, we have Chun-Li of Street Fighter fame, hoping to do better than her previous Street Fighter competitors, going up against 13 seed Curious George. The 5-12 matchup is Hawkeye going up against Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog. The 3-14 matchup is Popeye of cartoon fame going up against Kim Kardashian. 6-11 matchup is a drunk panda bear. So we have another animal going up against Breaking Bad's Walter White. And the 7-10 matchup comes to you from Man v. Mater, not Matter, as in Mater, at Man versus Mater, all one word, from Twitter, who suggested the matchup of Smokey the Bear versus Crime Dog McGruff. We'll be interested to see that one there. And the 211 matchup is Alien from the Alien franchise with that little jaw thing that sticks out of his or her mouth, going up against 15 seed Carrie Bradshaw.
Strong bracket. We do thank you, Brawl Nation, for that shout out of the matchup there of Smokey the Bear versus Crime Dog McGruff there. We're excited to see what goes down there. I wonder if he'll leave a prediction on who he thinks is going to win, that matchup as well. Because I know he sent us that matchup, but I'd be curious to see which one he thinks is going to win. For me, the biggest upset here that I'm thinking that can occur is Curious George going up against Chung Lee, 13 seed.
Wow.
Curious George is a curious person, or monkey, excuse me. And secondly is, they've got opposable thumbs, man. He can just get a chokehold, and they are strong. I think we underestimated the power here of him. You talk about, Drunk Panda Bear. Yeah, it's big and stuff like that. But, man, it's just not the same as a monkey with hands, man. That thing can grab anything here in Red Square and start bashing Chung Lee with it. It can climb, it can escape, it's tough to get the hands on it, could be filled with all sorts of diseases or anything like that. We don't know what's going on with Curious George these days.
You are jumping from like Planet of the Apes to like Contagion to Outbreak and
we don't know
everything in between of a cartoon monkey.
Listen, we've not tested, the competitors, so we don't do any of those sort of tests here. We're on a limited budget here on the Brawl, Nation right now. What about you? What's the biggest upset that you see happening?
Indeed, I actually got Dr. Robotnik. I mean, he's ruthless. He captures little animals and turns them into robots. I think he might have a surprise or two for Hawkeye. But one of those, I think both Smokey and Crime Dog were underrated here as a 7-10 matchup. So either of those, Alien, you might want to look out, because one of those can either take a bite out of Crime or tell you to go back to outer space, stop trying to bring your forest fires here and your whatever you got going on there. I've looked at either of those take a run. Again, thanks to Man versus Mater for that. Go check out his Twitch. And thank you to Brawl Nation for giving that shout out. And sorry for mispronouncing your name. I just read it on the Twitter and not heard it in real life.
Good deal. Yeah, and that's the matchup that I'm actually looking forward to, Smokey the Bear versus Crime Dog McGruff, because as a child of the 90s, those two...
Right.
Those two were, on the little pamphlets. I remember getting those, in school and stuff like that. Don't start forest fires, and report crime and this. And so, I know those two back from the childhood, so that brings back memories there. So that's the one that I'm most looking forward to. The others, are some interesting matchups here. Just to draw your attention, Sydney Bristow, that is from the TV show Alias from a while ago, starring
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, Jennifer Gardner. I had a buddy of mine that had a crush on her at one point. That was his Hollywood girl that he really liked was Jennifer Gardner at one point.
That is correct.
I don't remember who that was, but I know somebody was interested in her at one point.
No comment.
On that note, let's move to the final region here. We are on Elm Street, and even though Freddie did not win the last Brawl, we are there, just like Jason did not win the last Brawl. We're going to Camp Crystal Lake. They did not get the Final Four location. Instead, Willy, the Final Four location will be held at
King's Landing. We're heading to the capital of Westeros.
And that's because of the win from the Mountain in Brawl number 5. So hopefully you've already seen that. Otherwise, just spoiled it for you, but you can still watch for the Brawl action and see how he won that in the Final Four as well. But we are here at Elm Street. Go ahead and break down our 16 competitors in this region for us, Willy, and then we'll talk about, again, our upsets and what matchup we're looking forward to.
Sounds good, man. We got Sauron from Lord of the Rings, the Evil Eye. Sauron invades suburbia. He's the number 1 seed in the Elm Street region, and he will be taking on Donald Duck. 8-9 matchup, we have Arnold Palmer in his prime, hoping to mix some lemonade and iced tea together to take on number 9 seed Bernie Mac in his prime. And then 413, we have Clubber Lang going up against Wiley E. Coyote, the 13 seed. 5-12 matchup, we have the Great Kali going up against Chef Boyardee, the 12 seed. 3-14 matchup, we have RoboCop going up against Ben Franklin. 6-11, we have Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon going up against Greg Norman, another golfer in that region. 7-10 matchup, we have Frank Drebin from the Naked Gun series going up against Martin Luther King Jr., MLK, entering the arena. And in our final matchup, we have 2-seed Odysseus from Mythical Fame going up against 15-seed Harry Carey with his glasses. He wants to eat a hot dog. He wants to be the Cinderella in this region.
Absolutely. Thank you for breaking those down for us, Brawl Nation. I apologize if I'm looking off screen. I'm typing in the names of the different competitors so we can keep our stats as we go on with this. Many things to do. Unfortunately, we don't have production crew and stat technicians. It's all on Willy and Rotag here, and so we do our best that we can. For me, the biggest upset that I am possibly seeing in this one here is, you know what? I think, the biggest upset I would like to see is Harry Carey win. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. So, but that would be the upset that I would like to see. Being a Cubs fan, since I was a little boy and listening to Harry Carey call those games on WGN TV, I always enjoyed, Harry Carey. He was so passionate, for the game of baseball, and then, for the Cubs when he was their announcer, because he had announced for some other teams before then. But yeah, iconic guy right there. I would like to see Harry Carey pull that upset.
Well, I actually see Chef Boyardee using his skills to surprise some folks. I have to make him a surprise run this Sweet 16 because honestly, we've seen weirder happen in our brawls. We had a creepy Six Flags guy make a run. It's hard to predict. And looking at a can of Chef Boyardee, I'm like, you know what? This guy is going to be the guy for this region. He's going to surprise some folks. Watch out for Chef Boyardee. And the ice cream truck is now passing by my house, so that's the music you might hear in the background.
Nice. Can I get one of those Flintstone, orange cream push-up cone things? That's what I really liked from those.
Oh, you want to taste some cardboard and ice cream mixed together, huh?
Yes, it was delicious as a childhood. Just like hose water, when you're outside playing and you can't come inside because you're all stinking, so you just drink from the hose. Certain things you remember as a kid. As an adult, though, I have met the great Kali himself. The man is massive. Over 7'4", height-wise, 350, 400 pounds. The guy is a monster. He dwarfed me. Not that I'm, the biggest guy in the world, but just his hand just shaking and stuff like that and stuff like that. Massive man. Chef Boyardee, he's got to be cooking up something real good to take down that monster of a meat man in the Great Kali, because I don't see him happening in that upset. But to each their own. There, the matchup that I am looking most forward to in this one, I'm gonna say Frank Drebin versus MLK. Because you want to root for MLK, right? MLK, great guy, so much that he's, put forward for the country, hence, one of the only non-president people to have a federal holiday, right? And so, that's pretty impressive right there. Not to mention all that he's done to try and bring people together. And so, definitely something that we enjoy there. But Frank Drebin, he just seems to find a way to fall into victories, at least if you've watched the Naked Gun movies. It makes no sense whatsoever. Complete terrible comedy in the sense that, it's not real funny jokes, but I just laugh. I love those movies, and so I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see what, happens here. You've got somebody ultra silly versus somebody ultra serious. What's going to happen in that matchup?
Yeah, man, that's a good pick. I'm looking forward to seeing Arnold Palmer and Bernie Mac. Man of the sweaters and the clubs going up against Bernie Mac with his stare downs. I got Bernie taking that down, but I think that one's going to be the closest fight of the matchup.
Nice. On a side note, do you like Arnold Palmer's? Do you drink them?
I don't. I don't judge those who do, because when I'm at like a McDonald's or restaurant that you get your own sodas, I definitely mix all the different sodas together so I understand the impulse. I get weird with it there, especially if like they got like those little the fancy electronic ones that have like 64 different flavors that you can definitely mix and match in that big old cup of ice. So I get the impulse. I don't get the I don't that's not my preferred flavor combination, but no judgment here.
So Willie is the one that holds up the rest of the people from getting their drinks because he's pressing every single button like he's a 6-year-old kid.
Not every single. I mix like 2 or 3. I got like I mean it's like I definitely like will rock some orange soda with like a hint of Powerade and then like a splash of like of Coke or Dr Pepper for some pizzazz. Don't judge it.
Okay,
It's good.
Listen, I don't drink soda anymore, so I can't, hate you on there. I'm not an Arnold Palmer fan. I don't, and some people are probably gonna, hate me for this one. I don't like iced tea at all. Never have. It doesn't matter. Sweet tea, I've, tasted them all from, this place to that place and stuff like that. Homegrown. This one, none of them work for me. I do like lemonade, a good lemonade, and one of the best lemonades I ever have. Man, when you go to the swamp and you get the lemonade there, it's in the clear glass. It's got the little half of a lemon in it and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean,
right. I
that stuff is delicious. When I go there, I have to get one of those and stuff like that. I mean, on a hot day in the swamp, that is amazing. You get that nice Italian sausage there. I mean, we're getting a little off track here with food, but that's that. Speaking of, things that I like, let's go to my picks here. And here is how I see the bracket breaking down. It's been a long time since either one of us have done really well on one of these. I think this is the chance where we get a comeback here and do well. My bracket breaks down with Wolverine and Link going at it, with Wolverine coming out of that region. Moving in to the next region, I have Optimus Prime versus Venom, another matchup there of 1 versus 2, with Venom, the number 2 seed, going over to make the final 4. In the next region, I have Dark Phoenix and Popeye battling it out with Dark Phoenix moving on. And in the last region, I have Clubber Lang versus Robocop, with Clubber Lang a 4 seed going into the last and final 4 spot for my bracket. With the championship matchup being Dark Phoenix versus Wolverine, and Wolverine cutting down the fake nets that are hanging there. Wolverine, my pick to win it all. Willie, break down your bracket for Brawl Nation this time. Hopefully the power does not go out and we don't lose you at this point.
Okay, well, I'll make it quick just in case, because I know Florida, the weather gets wild sometimes. I've got Sasquatch taking out Wolverine in the Sweet 16 with 2 very hairy folks, and Dumbledore, the wizard, he's got magic on his side. He'll be advancing to the Final 4 in that region. And in the Stonehenge region, I got Optimus Prime crushing all competition until he gets to Dracula. Dracula also has some magical elements to him. I got Dracula, the 3 seed, who I believe is underseeded, coming out of that region. He's also used to scary, dark places like Stonehenge, and he'll be the one that comes out of that region. Moving on to the Red Square region, I have Chun-Li making a surprise run in the Final 4 and taking out Alien in the process with those fast, furious kicks and fireballs. She's the only one with some range to defeat some of these scarier characters like Dark Phoenix, who I have going down to Leonard Skinner and the power of music in the round of 32. In the Elm Street region, nothing can stop Sauron. I have Riggs from Lethal Weapon making a little run, but Sauron is going to take this whole thing down, taking out Dumbledore in the championship. Villains have won our last 2 brawls. I think that continues here with the Eye of Sauron emerging triumphant in Mordor being the Final 4 pick for brawl number 7, and the Final 4 location going to where the champion is. Sauron's taking it down. Mark it down right now.
Brawl Nation, there you have it. Rotag and Willy's picks. And this is probably the first time, because we've picked very similar in the last couple. We are on opposite ends of the picking in this one in many of the cases. I mean, I don't think we have very many even similar, like no Final 4 similar, I don't think, in very few Elite 8 or Sweet 16 even. So one of us might do really well. One of us might do really bad. It'll be an exciting brawl to look forward to. Stay tuned on the channel for those coming up. Any last comments, Willie?
just got the brand new Brawl playing cards, which will be revealed today in the round of 64. If you want yours, call Rotag, shoot us a tweet, make a comment on YouTube. We'll get you your own deck of Brawl playing cards. They're lovely to shuffle. They look great. They have jokers. Play along with us.
Absolutely. I'm Rotag. He's Willy. Once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate any of you that are doing those kind of things. Hit us up on Twitter at Rotag and Willy. Leave us your picks, your predictions, and the like. We will see you in the Brawl in the next video. Take care, guys. Peace out.